Welcome to Luxury Ascension, a space devoted to redefining wealth, worth, and well being from the inside out. Today, we're exploring your new rich reality, the identity shifts, standards, and internal transformations that create abundance long before it appears in your bank account. Because true wealth isn't something you chase, it's something you become. Because every transformation begins long before it becomes visible. Every elevated life begins as a decision to think differently, to see differently, to expect differently, to stop identifying with limitation and start aligning with expansion. The truth is, most people spend their lives waiting for reality to change before they change themselves. But those who create extraordinary lives understand something different. Reality responds to identity. It responds to standards. It responds to the version of you that shows up every day and declares what is no longer acceptable. There are people who spend their entire lives standing at the edge of a new reality. They can see it. They can imagine it. They can even describe it in vivid detail. The home, the lifestyle, the freedom, the peace, the prosperity, the opportunities, the version of themselves that exists within it. Yet somehow they never cross the threshold. Not because they aren't capable, not because they aren't intelligent, not because they aren't deserving. They don't cross because they keep trying to enter a new reality with an old identity. And reality doesn't work that way. Your future is not waiting for the current version of you. It is waiting for the version capable of sustaining it. That's the part most people miss. Everyone wants the result. Few people prepare for the responsibility. Everyone wants expansion. Few people build the capacity to hold it. Because a rich reality demands more than desire. It demands growth. The life you're asking for requires a larger version of you. Not requirements imposed by the world. Requirements imposed by growth. Because every new level asks a question. Can you carry more responsibility without becoming overwhelmed? Can you remain grounded when opportunities multiply? Can you trust yourself when the stakes become higher? Can you walk into rooms you've never entered before and act like you belong there? The future you're pursuing is not testing your desire, it's testing your capacity. For years, many people unconsciously negotiate with limitation. They negotiate with their standards. They negotiate with their dreams. They negotiate with their potential. They tell themselves that someday they'll start. Someday they'll invest. Someday they'll take the risk. Someday they'll choose themselves. But someday is often where possibility goes to die. Because the future isn't built tomorrow. It's built today. The rich reality isn't created when the money arrives. It's created when your decisions begin reflecting the person who can generate it, manage it, and multiply it. The rich reality begins when you stop thinking like someone trying to survive and start thinking like someone building a legacy. That's a completely different mindset. A survival mindset asks, what if I lose it? A prosperous mindset asks, what can I build with it? A survival mindset sees obstacles. A prosperous mindset sees opportunities. A survival mindset focuses on protecting what exists. A prosperous mindset focuses on expanding what is possible. And expansion is the true nature of life. Everything in nature expands. Trees expand, rivers expand, civilizations expand, consciousness expands, the human spirit expands. Why then do so many people spend years shrinking themselves, shrinking their goals, shrinking their desires, shrinking their expectations, shrinking their vision to fit the comfort level of everyone around them? At some point, you have to stop apologizing for your expansion. At some point, you have to stop treating your ambitions like something that needs to be explained. At some point, you have to decide that the life you're envisioning deserves your full commitment. Not your hesitation, not your doubt, your commitment. Because your future responds to conviction. Every extraordinary reality began as an idea that someone refused to abandon. Every innovation, every empire, every breakthrough, every transformation, It began as a possibility that existed only in the mind of someone who chose to believe in it long enough for it to become real. That same principle applies to your life. The question isn't whether a richer reality is available to you. The question is whether you're prepared for what comes with it. Because every expansion changes the way you're required to think, the way you're required to decide, the way you're required to carry yourself. More opportunity demands greater discernment. More success demands greater discipline. More influence demands greater responsibility. And greater prosperity demands a stronger relationship with yourself. Many people unknowingly sabotage abundance because they haven't expanded their capacity. They want more, but they haven't become more. And life always reveals the gap. This is why personal growth is not optional. It is preparation. Preparation for the opportunities that are searching for you. Preparation for the rooms you haven't entered yet. Preparation for the conversations you haven't had yet. Preparation for the resources you haven't received yet. Your future is constantly asking one question. Can you hold what you're asking for? And every day, your habits answer. Your standards answer. Your discipline answers. Your mindset answers. Everything is answering. This is why elevated people become intentional. They understand that every choice is a vote for a future reality. Every decision either reinforces the old story or supports the new one. Every action is evidence. Evidence that you're serious, or evidence that you're still negotiating. Your new rich reality requires a new level of seriousness. Not seriousness without joy. Seriousness without excuses. The kind of seriousness that says, I am no longer available for the habits that keep me small. I am no longer available for the beliefs that keep me limited. I am no longer available for the environments that keep me stagnant. That is power. Because every transformation begins with a refusal. A refusal to continue living beneath your potential. A refusal to continue accepting what no longer aligns. A refusal to remain loyal to a version of yourself that has already served its purpose. Growth requires endings, and endings create space. Space for new opportunities, space for new relationships, space for new ideas, space for new levels of prosperity. You cannot fill a vessel that refuses to empty. And many people are carrying old identities long after they've expired. Old fears, old limitations, old definitions of who they are. Meanwhile, life is trying to introduce them to someone greater, someone more capable, someone more disciplined, someone more prosperous, someone more powerful. The question is whether they'll let that person emerge. Because becoming is a choice, not a coincidence. Every day you are either reinforcing your future or repeating your past. There is no neutral. The wealthy mindset understands this. It understands that success is rarely one giant moment. It is thousands of small moments, thousands of decisions, thousands of opportunities to align with the future you're building. And eventually something remarkable happens. The reality you once imagined begins to feel normal. The opportunities become normal. The prosperity becomes normal. The standards become normal. The growth becomes normal. The life that once felt impossible becomes familiar. Not because you got lucky, because you evolved. You expanded. You became the person capable of sustaining it. That is the secret. Not chasing, becoming. Not wishing, preparing. Not hoping, aligning. Because your new rich reality isn't something you find. It's something you build, thought by thought, decision by decision, standard by standard, until one day you look around and realize the life you once dreamed about is no longer a dream. It's your reality. And the most beautiful part, you're only getting started. If this message resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on the version of yourself you're choosing to become. Every elevated life begins with a decision, and every transformation begins with a new standard. If you're committed to expanding your consciousness, refining your mindset, and creating a life rooted in abundance, self-respect, and intentional living, Subscribe and join us on this journey. Let's redefine luxury, one intentional choice at a time. Until next time, peace and love.